traditionally rode next to the commanding officer, always on a grey horse, which could be seen, of course, more easily in the battlefield. By 3 pairs of horses.
It's taking forward, remember, not backwards.
The colour of the lifeguards, which remains under carry during the trot past. Lifeguards trace their history back to the court of the exiled Charles II.
As you see.
Saluting cattle drummers, riding the drum horses, crossing their sticks as a salute. We're often asked about the distinctive gold coats and the blue jockey caps. It's known as state dress. It's the oldest continually worn uniform in the British Army. So the band of the Household Cavalry, mounted band, will soon come to a halt, and their director of music, leading the way, will signal that he's in effect handing back control. The Prince of Wales, of course, is taking on Her Majesty's behalf.
Order, left and right, track! The halt by division, right farm, quick march.
Guards will be closing up to reduce the length of the procession along the Mall. Music, drums and pipes obviously in evidence, operational aspects of drums and pipes, Jamie?
It's on parade. The drums and pipes are regular soldiers from the battalion itself, and their role is a specialist machine gun platoon, which I had the honour of commanding many, many years ago. So part-time musicians, full-time machine gunners.
Well and forward. About. Turn. Guards on the escort. Form close column. Remainder. By the left. Quick march.
Well disciplined, them horses are.
David Griffiths by the orderly, Guardsman Kevin Newell.
Guards. Left. Right.
The left guided the escort, Anthony Owens, moving out to the right so that all the guards can see him. And when he drops the arm, it's the eyes forward to signal to all 6 guards. Making his way to the approach road. We've seen the training of future officers at Sandhurst, some of them on parade today.
His birthday parade, and I know the immense pride that they'll be feeling. I stand immensely proud about everybody and what they're achieving.
Prince of Wales has given his permission for the guards to march off, with horse guards bathed in sunshine. Just a few yards away on the Mall, we have the carriage procession taking the royal guests back from horse guards along the Mall to Buckingham Palace. And I'm reliably told that since we came on air, many more thousands of people have joined the crowd on either side of the Mall, and indeed packed into St James's Park and Green Park on top. And that'll be watched, of course, by the Duchess of Cornwall and Duchess of Cambridge, and by these 3 little ones who behaved rather well, seem to be having a great time.
Heel duties. By the left. Quick march.
I think it's fair to say that some of the very best tunes, and we've had 1 or 2 really good ones, have been saved for the march off on the procession along the Mall. This is one that when we attended the rehearsals we really did like. It's called Irish Saffron by Sergeant Adam Barras, and the Irish saffron kilt, an iconic part of the drum occasions. Conclusion of the birthday parade, the very first in which the Prince of Wales has taken the salute on Her Majesty's behalf.
If you name
Lots of smiles from the Duchess of Cambridge and Duchess of Cornwall. They clearly enjoyed themselves, and the 3 little ones waving as if it were their duty, which of course it is, but they seem...
Marching off horse guards. Places have a spirituality, and for all of the guardsmen on parade today, this now has a special spiritual place in their heart.
Many of us won't have seen anything like it before, with 70 aircraft marking 70 years of the Queen's reign, and it'll include some of the most iconic aircraft, modern and historic, fly past today, but a lot of statement about the modern technology and power of the Jubilee concert, which takes place tomorrow taking part in Saturday night.
That's like Charles as well when he was little. They're all similar, aren't they? All into bread, aren't they, you know?
As we see this great site and the heritage and the tradition involved, Jamie, I'm just reminded of the fact that this is one of those very valuable parts of heritage which speaks of continuity.
It's an affirmation of the relationship, not just between Her Majesty and her foot guards, but also with the people of Great Britain. And we've seen the crowds out on the Mall, and there's that lovely triangulation taking place.
So yeah, the Blues and Royals, they're already on their way to fire
for the
resounding
mix it, you know.
salute.
It's all
after which
pumped
the
ceremony,
Queen
we know
will be
that,
leading
but
the family
what sells
to the balcony
tickets, you know.
fly past. If we look in the background there, just under the flags, we'll see some of the streetliners. They're from the 1st Battalion Coldstream Guards. We must mention them because they've done a sterling job today. It's not in the limelight on Horse Guards Parade. It's still very important, standing patiently since the long procession began. Some of them now, because of course lots of them are sporting the new Jubilee.
Some of the compensation, you hear some wonderful comments from the crowd behind you when you're standing there. It actually keeps you going. Coldstream Guards, nulli secundus, rightly their motto translates as second to none. The honour of serving them with them many years ago. They are a fantastic regiment, and they've done a great job lining the route.
You've got that many items, you never use them.
Making our way back, Duke of Cambridge and the Prince of Wales. So as the royal procession makes its way, and we have some more excitement to look forward to, I'm delighted to say that Jamie and I have been joined in the commentary box here by the royal editor of Vanity Fair and an old friend of ours who's always got great detailed expert commentary on these matters. Katie Nichol. Katie, a warm welcome to you.
Oh, thank you. Lovely to be here with you both. What a spectacle that was.
It's astonishing, really, and it's the first day of Jubilee celebrations. What kind of a tone is that?
Yes.
Well, by the way, look. Look,
Queen baby.
Katie, this is exactly what we've been waiting for, to see whether Her Majesty, who decided not to come to the parade, would be able to make an appearance. And this is our answer, isn't it?
This is our answer. This is our queen. Our platinum record-breaking monarch. To be believed. Well, here she is.
Crowd is slowly realising who it is that's emerged on the balcony, because it takes a few seconds to sink in sometimes. The Duke of...
Which is so apt and brilliant of it all.
I know.
Followed now by the non-royal colonels, saluting as well. Duke of Kent, who would normally ride in the carriage since the late Duke of Edinburgh stopped attending public events some years before his death. The Duke of Kent is a very prominent participator. Sign of the changing of the guard in the forecourt of Buckingham Palace. Her Majesty has returned inside, but we will see her again, fear not. And maybe a good moment, Jamie, as we see the changing of the guard, just to explain very quickly that the escort has some work to do.
It does. It hasn't finished yet for the escort. They now go on to Queen's Guard, as it's called, at Buckingham Palace and at St James's Palace, taking over from the old guard, which was drawn from the Coldstream Guards, as you can see. They've got a few more hours of duty left.
So the guard is being changed, as Jamie was saying. A bit of a long day for the members of the escort who are now going to be on guard in Buckingham Palace and St James's Palace. What? So as the guard is changed, we're mindful, of course, of the fact that there are lots of people around who are now getting quite excited about the prospect of the fly past in a short while. And just outside Buckingham Palace, just the other side of the railings, I know that JJ Chalmers is there, and I think JJ is with a special guest there, so let's join him.
Absolutely, Hugh. I'm joined by the great Alan Titchmarsh, and we've just snuck round there to get a really good front row seat of seeing Her Majesty come out in the balcony. It's particularly special, isn't it? It's a thing everybody was hoping. This structure behind us, the tree of trees. I mean, it's really striking and quite a piece of engineering as well, isn't it?
It's an astonishing piece of engineering designed by Thomas Heatherwick. 50 British native trees, all planted in pots, which at the end of the Jubilee are going to be sent off around the country. The idea is that the Queen's durability will be reflected in the durability of the trees that
Surprise you that she chose this initiative, you know, trees, wildlife, nature, to be her legacy, essentially, of this Jubilee.
No, it doesn't surprise me. It's a great park. They are very, very...
We'll leave it there, because that is, yeah, what a remarkable piece of history we're witnessing, and what a wonderful future we'll have as well.
Glorious, glorious day.
JJ and Alan, thank you so much. Just two people in a vast sea of spectators enjoying the day, and it's good as well, I think. I mentioned this to Katie earlier.
Coming together again, this sense of community, and I think that is so much at the heart of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee message. She said in that statement that we received overnight that she wants her Jubilee to be a chance to make happy memories today.
A lot of people.
Let them come in now.
This is the
Huh?
great
They can go up to the palace now, you know. But before they couldn't go because of the, basically because of you know, the horses and all that.
Return to barracks.
They're smart, look.
They'll get, some of them will get a...
See the way they're letting on the mall now.
Towards the lower end, but honestly, lots of people will be very happy just to be on the mall today. It's such a big day. We heard earlier from rather prominent people paying their own tributes to Her Majesty. There was a tribute to the Queen from former President Obama, and which leads on to Trafalgar Square, designed by Sir Aston Webb at the turn of the 20th century, now of course familiar around the world as a prime ceremonial route. Union flags. Message about the nature of the event, of course the celebration of the Queen's record-breaking reign, but the Union flag is turning up in lots of different places today, on umbrellas and on waistcoats. I've seen people wearing socks with Union flags on them, and the odd tie as well.
There's plenty of policemen there, isn't there?
If I'd wear a Union flag tie on the... I would then be asked to wear lots of ties.
Well, the policeman that let me through the gates this morning just had to show me his Union Jack themed socks. I said, I hope you're going to stop there. But I think this is an opportunity to get the bunting out. It's an opportunity to feel very proud of our Queen, proud of our country. And millions will be watching this around the world. I can tell you, I was on the Mall yesterday, the atmosphere moment.
Some people, isn't
Well, quite a job for the police as they try to arrange this flow of people in an orderly way. A short while ago we heard from Alan Titchmarsh, but we have another special guest who's going to talk again to JJ. While the crowd is coming down the Mall, I mentioned earlier that up in Hyde Park, the King's Troop on their way to fire an 82-gun salute. They're of course responsible for firing these great gun salutes on days of national significance. And we're used to seeing them in Green Park very often on the day of the birthday parade, but they're up in Hyde Park today, a bigger shortly, but we can see now the crowd still making its way, and it's in 2 or 3 sections, so by the time it's all together, I think we'll see the Mall pretty full by the time that we reach just before 1 o'clock. And the highlight of the morning, if I can say that, because we've already had several highlights with the parade itself, but the highlight probably for lots of people will be to see Her Majesty leading out the family onto the balcony. And it's really at times when, you know, people are feeling the pinch in terms of cost of living, they'll come here because they really want to show their support and their affection for Her Majesty. So it's a lovely thing to see, and we have a great sight here from the top end of the... Now this is looking back towards Trafalgar Square, if I can just explain the geography. To the left-hand side here we have Clarence House and St James's Palace. To the right we have St James's Park, right down to Buckingham Palace itself. So as the crowd makes its way, let's join JJ once again.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, a real sense of expectation building up. Look now, you can see the density of the crowd on the Mall, working its way down towards Buckingham Palace, enthusiastically waving flags, cameras out, phones out. You can tell it's just going to really fly past for Her Majesty the Queen.
Something of this scale does take time, and we start a number of months out. My role is to look after planning and execution of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee flypast, where we look at the numbers of aircraft and the numbers of people that are going to be involved. We cover all the 3 services and all of the countries that make up the United Kingdom to contribute towards this flypast.
Take off, so it'll be...
We go through a whole planning cycle to develop how we're going to get over the palace on time and in good order.
I'll be the lead pilot of the lead aircraft in the Wildcat Mark II, and I'll be the observer in the left-hand seat of the Wildcat, so I'll be doing the navigation. We use a simulator to run through the mission. It enables us to fly the route that's over London through airspace. There's an element of nerves because obviously we're at the front, so we're leading the formation, but the nerves are there for a good reason because it means that you want to do the best for the armed forces in general.
We're based here at RAF Lossiemouth as part of the UK's anti-submarine patrol. The professional flypast that you will see, that doesn't just happen on its own. A lot of work goes into that behind the scenes.
Ascot 126, clear for takeoff, surface wind 26009. My role as project officer is to the flypast for all of the assets that we'll need to speak to on the day. It's quite complicated to put something of this scale together from a planning process. It's really actually opened my eyes into how much effort goes in behind the scenes.
The Atlas A400M is a massive aircraft. We weigh about 90 tons. Get it right, because what we're doing isn't actually very easy. JJ sent the route data card. We'll put that data in, get that squared away. The C-17 is the heaviest aircraft we have in the Royal Air Force fleet. How it was a treat.
The accuracy that we ask of our pilots and aircrew is demanding, plus or minus 5 seconds, keeping it exactly in the right place so it looks perfect for Her Majesty. We're talking feet in terms of how close the aircraft are flying.
You've got to bring 2 very fast-moving objects together in a controlled manner, and you've got to try and do that quickly.
It's really simple. Military aircraft don't fly without these support people.
Power on!
I am an avionics technician on the RAF Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. These are like 80 years old, some of them. Compared to a Monday aircraft, which has many computers like Typhoon, loads of software-driven items, this literally is held together by nuts and bolts and pieces of wire and strings that connect the flying controls. It's just a whole different world.
For the Platinum Jubilee flypast, I was the Lancaster captain on the day. The engineering of this aircraft is of utmost importance. You know, for us to be able to put these aircraft across the top of central London, it has to be right.
What a noise. Flight Attendant Stuart Roberts, Red 2 with the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows.
I'll be flying on the wing of Red One as we conclude the ceremony. It's going to be my first time doing that, and I'm hugely honoured and privileged to be doing it.
The Queen's Platinum Jubilee Flypast is a one-time event. There is no second go if we get it wrong.
Uniting with thousands of other military personnel on the day to show appreciation to Her Majesty the Queen of her service is an immense honour.
I'm really, really excited. I know I'm going to feel a lot of pride as they go ahead, but also a little bit of nerves as they make sure they get it right.
I hope that when people see us, they don't just see an aircraft, they see and understand the body of people that it takes to put these aircraft up in the air.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and to be able to say I contributed to something like this is just incredible.
We get to fly over London and millions of people get to see what we do. It's absolute honour, it's brilliant.
This is one of the biggest events of the aircraft taking part. It's something to be really proud of.
Well, if that doesn't whet the appetite, nothing will. Now look at this great vista, and that's the expanse of Hyde Park. Park Lane just on the south of the screen there, the bottom of the screen, and then you have the expanse of Hyde Park and the Serpentine ahead of us, and that is where the King's Troop will be firing that gun salute. And they've started already 82 salutes for this Platinum Jubilee. The interval between each round of fire is 10 seconds. Commanding officer, it's Major Fran Sykes who's giving the orders. So the gun salute is happening, and it's being felt and heard all around this part of London. Extent of people spending on flags and all kinds of Jubilee memorabilia.
£2 billion here.
Expressions of that. Imagine that people are now really keen to flow around clockwise and anti-clockwise this big stage that's been put up for the concert. And there's the Mall, a scene which really you can't forget. A sea of people who've come to pay their tribute to a record-breaking Queen, longest-serving monarch in British history, who's just celebrated her 96th birthday. And as we look at the palace, and we've got all eyes on the balcony, this is actually a very significant occasion.
It's hugely significant, and
Doors are opening, and listen to the reaction of this delighted and grateful crowd.
Oh, Charlie baby there.
Her Majesty the Queen, leading the Prince of Wales, who's just taken the salute on her behalf at the birthday parade for the very first time. Duchess of Cornwall, Princess Royal, and husband Timothy Lawrence, the Earl of Wessex, and knows the armed forces, and we see the 3 Cambridge children here, which again is the first time we've seen them taking part formally at an event like this. What's going through your mind?
I think the fact that Her Majesty is surrounded by her family is one thing. Just the fact that she is. It's a wonderful sort of generational thing going on too, with Her Majesty's birthday, the Prince of Wales leading the parade, and Prince William's regiment, the Duke of Cambridge's regiment, the Irish Guards, trooping the colour. It's a fantastic symmetry.
Very excited to see
the helicopters, no?
Well, fly past on a scale that we've not seen for many, many
years.
Look
at that, bloody hell, look at that.
Just a word.
The special formation. So look out for the number 70 at one point. And George and Charlotte and Louis being encouraged to focus on the skies above, and the Queen too saying, have a look at that.
Bloody hell, they're perfect, look. Almost in
led
line.
by an aircraft formation of helicopters from the Royal Navy to start with as the senior service. A mix of Wildcats and Merlins and Apaches. And here goes the Platinum Jubilee flypast on this day of the Queen's official birthday. Queen surrounded by those working members of the royal family, specially invited by her to be on this balcony to share this experience. Queen, a very sharp focus on the approaching helicopters. Leading the way is a Royal Navy Wildcat. Followed by 2 Merlins. And then another Wildcat, followed by 3 Apaches operated by the British Army. And then there'll be another Wildcat, followed by 3 Merlins.
Jeez.
3 Pumas from the Royal Air Force and 3 Chinooks from the Royal Air Force too. Chinooks unmistakable and filling the air, filling the skies with this thunderous noise.
The old World War II bombers.
Now this should be familiar to lots of people.
Wow.
This is much loved. It's the Royal Air Force Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. The Lancaster, only 2 of those in a condition to fly these days. 3 Spitfires and 2 Hurricanes. And there'll be a big cheer for the Lancaster and the Spitfires and the Hurricanes, with memories of loves that. Over the skies, over Buckingham Palace and beyond.
These are the
3 RAF Hercules, C-130s, proper workhorses.
Yeah.
They were heavily involved, of course, the Hercules, in Operation Pitting, which was the UK's evacuation of civilians from Afghanistan last year. We were more than 15,000 people from Kabul.
New ones, UNO.
So what we have here, I think, is the Poseidon and the rivet joint. These are the ones that use the very latest technology to detect and identify and monitor targets above and below the waves. Intercept and exploit signals across the electromagnetic spectrum. Very important part in intelligence gathering. And here we have the Voyager. One Lightning and one Typhoon as well, coming in the wider formation.
I'm picking a move.
That really is a death roar in the skies above Buckingham Palace in central
Typhoons.
London. 4 Royal Air Force Hawk T2s.
Oh, Hawks, the young, the trainers.
Training on the Texan before that. And there we have the formation of 70.
Oh, look at that.
Special formation
7-0.
of 15 Typhoons. And the Queen smiles in appreciation. Perfect formation.
Really, look at that. Jesus Christ. That's flying, that, isn't it? Pilots need.
That's what's really noisy.
These are the, what you call it, it's the red arrows.
The climax of the Platinum Jubilee fly past. No better sight in red, white and blue. 9 Hawks.
Put that in the exhaust and
the
stuff.
Aerobatics team, the red arrows.
Really manoeuvring, isn't they?
You get the sense, Katie, that
She was enjoying every moment, and to see her interact with her little great-grandchildren like that was just a joy to watch.
And listen to the response when the Queen waves. People want her to understand that they are sending their good wishes too. It's palpable, isn't it?
It absolutely is. There was no guarantee that we would see the Queen today. We know she's been battling with these episodic mobility problems, but here she is. She wants to be seen, and she's doing that in the most splendid way.
The monarch, who wasn't able to attend the parade itself, was none the less but twice on that balcony to acknowledge A, the troops, and B, of course, the huge crowd. All of them wishing the